Hi everyone, welcome back to the trigger sessions. Today we are going to solve a very important assessment which is roll-up summary. We know if we want to make a roll-up summary in Salesforce, if we have the master data relationships, we can create directly a field called uh, anything like a roll-up. Okay, so similarly, nowadays whenever we are going for an interview or anything, that time interviewer asks to write a trigger in manner to the roll-up summary. It can be some count, average, anything. Okay, so today we are going to see example, create a field on account called total number of contacts and store the child contacts count. Okay, now where we need to write a trigger, what will be the events that we need to decide very early stage. Okay, so first we know we are going to insert the contact, then only we will be able to update the accounts, because if we will write a trigger on account, we will be not able to capture our events on context. So because when the contact is insert, update, delete and delete, then we need to upgrade our count. Okay, so our trigger will be on contact object and our operations will be insert, update, delete and undelete. Okay, and also our event will be after, because we are not going to self update, because we will update the parent record which is account. So let's start with creating a field number of contacts. So we need to create that on account. So let me click on account, fields and relationship, new, number type field we need to create, number of contacts. Let me visible for home. Next, head to the page layout, set. Okay, so now we have created a field. Now we need to write a trigger on contact object. So again, we just need to search for contact, click on that. Here search for triggers. Now click on new. So we know first we need to give a trigger name. So trigger name always be a meaningful, like contact trigger. On contact we need to write, and we know we need to run on after insert, after update, after delete, after and delete. Okay, so as a best practice we will create a apex class also. Let me open the developer console, or same apex class we can create through the setup also, but for now I'm going to write that class in developer console. Okay, and also let me open the trigger, and okay, so we know we are going to uh, update our count on 4 events. So we can create our methods here, public static void after insert. Let me create for all the events, like after insert, after update, after delete, after and delete. Okay, so for method I have created here. Now we know on the insert we are going to get the trigger dot new event. Okay, so let me create here new contacts. Okay, on the update we are going to give the old and new, because here we have few scenarios. So for example, uh, we are going to update a contact. Over there we were having account A, now we have changed to account B, means we need to update the count of account A and account B. Another scenario is, previously we were having account as a none, now we have selected as account A, now we need to update our account. Another scenario is, previously we were having the account A, but now we are having the blank value. So now still we need to update the account A. So here we need to get the two values. one will be the new context, another one will be the map of contact, means old map. Okay, after delete, we know if we have deleted something, in that case we are not going to get anything new, so we just need to get the old list. Okay, and in last we are having after and delete, means we are not going to get anything old. Old will be the new, because it's like nothing was in system, now we are going to restore it. Okay, so here we are going to get new list. Okay, now let me save this one. Okay, now let me come here and just write the context variable. Why we are adding context variable? Because we know right now we have one requirement, but in future we can have a multiple requirement that we need to segregate our methods. Okay, so from the scratch only we should follow this basic practices. Okay, so trigger dot is after and trigger dot is insert. So 4 times we need to paste. Okay, so after will be send, update, delete, and delete. Okay, now it's saved. Now we just need to call this method so we can finish our trigger, and after that we will start our roll up. So here we need to pass a list. So trigger dot new, after update, here we need to pass two values. One will be the list, another one will be the old name. Okay, now delete. So here we know we will get the old value, so we will pass the old list, and here we will get the new, so we will pass the new. Okay, so now we have completed our trigger part. Now we just need to go into the helper class. Okay, so in helper class we need to understand one thing. Okay, all the calculations are going to be happen on account level. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to get the account IDs from the contact. Okay, because there is a possibility that account is inserted without the account ID also, right? So now first we'll uh, create a set here. We'll try this for loop, and one more important thing is we should add a check, because most of the times candidates do a mistake that they will not add uh, here like this check, so we should add this check. If it's blank, then we are will calculate our on null value, which is not uh, valid scenario. Okay, so now we have selected all the account IDs. Okay, now based on that account ID we need to calculate our roll up summary. So we can write here public static void roll up summary, and here we will only capture the account ID. Okay, now we receive the account IDs. Okay, now from account IDs we can do two things. One is directly we do a child query, and from that we can assign the count of context. Another one is we can do a aggregate query. Okay, so first we are going to see from child query. Okay, so let me create list. Okay, I will write a loop here. Account sec select id from account, and here we will do a child query. Select id from contacts. This is the child relationship name. Okay, where id in account id. Now what we will do is, okay, dot uh, number of contacts underscore underscore c equal to sec dot contacts dot size. So we need to do this query also. Now let me copy this one, come here. If dot size is greater than 0, then this is also a very important point where we need to add the conditions. Means if we are having the account into the list, then only we will update. Meantime, let me call this one from here. So if we are having the account IDs, then only we will call this method. Otherwise, we will not call, so it will not count any query here. Okay. So this we need to pass here. Let me save. Okay. So right now we can see for the insert we have written this piece of code, and here we are calculating the number of contacts. Now let me go here. Let me go to the accounts. Let me open this one. Right now we can see we have two contacts. Okay, and let me go to the details. Here we can see number of contacts is 0. Okay, now let me create a new contact, because this is the old one. Okay, means this is the existing context. Now let me create a new contact. Let me click on save. Okay, now let me go to the details. So we can see total number of contacts are 3. Now let me delete one contact. Okay, now 2. Let me go to the details, but we can see still 3 because we have not written for the delete scenario. Okay, now let me written for the delete scenario also. So similar code we can just copy and paste here. Okay, so same thing, we have just collected the account IDs and just we are passing. Okay, now let me go here. Let me delete. Okay, now let me go to the details, and we can see now the number of contacts is 1. For example, let me create a new one. Okay, Neeraj test. Okay, Neeraj test I have created for this account. Okay, now let me save. Let me go to the details. Right now we can see number of contacts are 2. Let me go here, edit. Let me remove this one. Okay, and save. We can see we have only one contact. Let me go to the details, but here we can see we have two contacts because right now we have not return for the update scenario. So here we need to come. Let me create a set again. As I mentioned, here we have three scenarios. So all these three scenarios we need to cover. One will be that account A changed to the account B. Okay. So let me write a for loop here. First of all, if con dot account id not equal to null and old map dot get con dot id dot account id not equal to null and the new and old value is not set. Okay, means we need to calculate both the accounts. Okay, now we have collected. This is the first scenario. Now another scenario is a new value is not equal to null but old value is null equal to null. Means now we have account 1 but previously was blank. So we will collect the account ID. Another scenario is this one. For example, now we have the blank value but previously we were having the value. So we need to collect the old value. Now same method. This is the reusability we can say, because otherwise we need to write this piece of code again and again. Okay, now let me go here. Now let me create a new. Okay, now let me save. We can see we have two contacts and count is also 2. Now let me go here. Let me first scenario is, let me change, or let me make it blank. Okay, save. Let me refresh this one. Okay, let me go to the details. We can see now number of contacts is 1, because here also we can see 1. Correct. Now let me open this account. Okay, right now we can see here we have 0 contacts. Okay, now let me go here. Let me click on this edit. Okay, let me go here, cancel this one, and let me select this one and click on save. Okay, now let me go to the details. In details we can see the number of contacts are 0, but the same time let me refresh this one, and here we can see the number of contacts 1. Okay, means the previously account was different and now the account is different. Okay, so yeah, now another scenario is undelete, which is last one. So let me go here. Right now we can see we have here like 0 contacts. Okay, and count is also 0. Let me restore this one. Now let me go here. Now we can see 1 contact. Let me go to the details, but the count is 0. and it should be calculated actually. Okay, but we have not written that piece of code, so we can go here, just copy, paste the same code and run for the new list. Okay, let me save, let me go here, let me restore this one. Okay, now let me go here, let me refresh. Right now we can see we have two contacts. Let me go to the details. We can see number of contacts are 2. So this is the basically solution for the roll-up summary. Either we are creating for calculating the sum of amount, we are calculating the number of contacts, average, min, max. These all scenarios we need to mention in our code during the interview questions also, as well as if we are building for any customers. Okay, so we can see our code is like a pretty simple and straightforward, that is readable basically. Okay, anyone can read this piece of code, and also we have done the reusable of our code. So here we have created a generic method which will call by every events method. Okay, now here we have few best practices which we have used in our last all the scenarios. So on one object we should have only one trigger. Okay, and our trigger should be bulkify. Bulkify means we should write our piece of code in that manner that it will run for millions of records. Okay, another thing is avoid DML statements and SOQL arrays inside the for loop. We should be like using a map, so we can exclude these all things. Okay, and do not write logics in triggers. In this assignment only we can observe that we are not writing any piece of code in trigger. We are just mentioning the method names and the context variables, and after that everything we are doing to the helper or a handler class. Okay, and avoid the hard coding IDs. We should not write any kind of hard coded IDs. Either we are using the record type or anything user, because when we are going to the production that will be a different. So that's the reason. Okay, the prevent recursive triggers. Sometime what we are doing is we are inserting one thing and after that we are updating into the another, like workflow procedure, again it's coming to the same, like that it's recursive. So few best practices that we can follow. One is we should check old and new value, because here also we can see we have checked our old and new value, then only we are updating. Okay, so it will also avoid our recursive thing. Another thing is we can use a static boolean variable that will help us. What we can do for that is we can create that variable in helper class, and after that we can use in our trigger. One time it will check, yeah, this is not recursive, it's false, then come into the if condition and then we will make the true. And after that, if in second time it will come into the same thread, it will not execute that piece of code. Okay, and also we should use the proper commenting in our code, so it will help to other developer as well to read into the future. Okay, so these all are the very best practices for the trigger that we should follow during writing any kind of triggers. Okay, another important thing is generally we heard about the batch classes, the chunk size is 200. Same format is followed by the trigger also. Suppose we are processing 100 or 1000 records. Okay, for example we are proceeding 1000 records. In that case our trigger will run 5 times. Means the trigger chunk size is 200, means trigger can only proceed 200 records in a single chain. Means if 1000 records, then it will run 5 times. Okay, so yeah, this is the basically trigger best practices. So yeah, thanks for watching.